Good morning, it's MaryEllen from the channel MaryEllen After 60, and I am filming this on my 64th birthday. It won't be up until a little bit later, but Jim and I are going out this afternoon, and I do try to do a different look every once in a while, and I think on my birthday it's kind of time to pull out the bells and whistles. So I did a smokier look. I'll talk about that at the end because that's not really why I'm here. I'm here to share with you some things that have really helped me throughout the years, some things I wish I would have learned about earlier, and some things I did kind of master that has helped me a lot. And I want to talk about, I'll start out with beauty because that's honestly the most shallow part of it in my opinion. In my skincare videos, I shared with everyone that I did not start doing skincare until I was 57. Prior to that, all I used was Dove soap and or Purity Made Simple and a cheap, nubby washcloth. But what I haven't told you is from the time I was 30 till I was 57, I would buy these things. I would buy these expensive sets of things. I never enjoyed skincare. So I'd try something for a few days and I was very wasteful because I just didn't enjoy doing it. It was hard. So my advice is to start taking care of your skin earlier and be very conscientious about what you put on your skin because skincare does not have to be expensive. And I think I've proved that in my videos. I started with Retin-A when I was almost 61, and a tube will last you a long time. And then I just wish I wouldn't have fallen into the trap and spent a couple of $100 on a few products that had a lot of promises. Now they do have some really good products that you can buy at the drugstore that do have retinol in it. So that's something I wish that I would have started earlier. I really can't complain because I have seen so much progress in my skin since I started doing serious skincare at 61. Something that I wish I would have taken seriously when I was younger was my health. I was somebody who never went to the doctor. Once my children were old enough that if I didn't feel well, I could lie down, I quit getting sick because I was just running and running and running and running. Well, I didn't go to the doctor very often because I just kind of thought I was invincible. I'm a nurse. I shouldn't feel that way, but you just think things aren't going to happen to you. I really encourage everyone, to get your vitals taken, to go to the doctor for checkups, to take care of yourself, because that's what's caused the problem that I've had in the past 3 years. It was uncontrolled hypertension. I'd always, if I had my blood pressure checked, I'd always have an excuse, why it was high that day. Or anyway, that's something I wish I would have taken more seriously. I've always been, eating is so important in what you eat. Luckily, I've always been somebody who loved vegetables and loved water, enjoyed the foods that were good for me. And I do eat sweets occasionally, but I just know I'm not going to feel good that day. And if I'd have known that, I think I was probably about 50 when I realized that if I ate something sweet in the morning, the rest of my day was not going to go well. So I wish I'd learned that earlier. I was pretty lucky. 35 was a really important year for me. And I can't believe I'm almost twice as old as I was then. But I realized a lot of things, and I am so thankful that those things stayed with me. One day I was feeling absolutely overwhelmed. I was divorced, had 2 super active children. I always worked a full-time job and a part-time job. And I had very busy children, and I dated. When my children were gone to their dads is when I would have dates. So I really didn't have any time just for me. And one day I went out my front door and sat on my porch, and I was feeling sorry for myself. And I just noted all the people that were going by, and I realized they would like to be in my position. There wasn't one person, I don't think, that went by at that moment, and I do think God intervened there because I realized that You know, everything wasn't perfect. Everything was really, really hard, but it could be a whole lot harder. I realized that happiness, honestly, is not having what you want. It's wanting what you have. To be appreciative of the smallest things. I told my children, I said, when they were growing up, one of the things that I would say was, you know, in life, there are not that many monumental, wonderful things that happen. And you'll be much happier strive to do those things, but appreciate the subtleness of life. You know, appreciate the beautiful clouds. Appreciate a crisp autumn morning like today. I am thrilled to death because it's cool. I mean, I appreciate my bed. I just take time to appreciate everything. Once I walk in my bedroom at night, I learned that a long time ago, I don't allow one negative thought in my mind. Not one. It's good advice to stay away from negativity and gossip. It would be good advice to subscribe to Ella's for Living, because if she wasn't doing what she's doing, I'd be doing that type of video, because I tell her I think we're sisters, because I really truly believe that we are the captain of our own ship, that we can, I know there are people that suffer from diseases and terrible things happen. And I've had some really very unfortunate incidences in my life, but I haven't had a situation that it could not have been worse. So I always keep that in mind. I think it's really important to go out of your way. My very favorite population is the elderly, which I'm considered, but I'm talking about you can make somebody's day with a smile or just give of yourself to somebody else. I make a big effort to stay away from people that are negative. I don't need to hear that. I don't. And it's really hard to get your point across to somebody who is negative. So, you know, sometimes you have to be around that person, but I really trained myself not to let their thoughts go into my mind. Because, you know, beauty is everything. It's not everything. It's not anything. Beauty is not anything, in the grand scheme of things. But, you know, the old saying, beauty is as beauty does. I believe that. And some people happen to have good skin. Some people happen to have wonderful figures. But nothing beats a good heart. Nothing. There's nothing that beats a good heart. You know, people will always tell you how quickly time passes. And you don't realize it until the time has passed. Because my daughter celebrated her 40th birthday this year. And I told her where we were on my 40th. She couldn't believe it. She could not believe that we were the same age at that time. So just enjoy every day that you can. And that's about all for now. Now on my shallow part, I did use my face is from Tarte, basically. I used the Tarte foundation from the kit that I ordered, and I'll link that video below. If they still have it, I will put it in there. But I used the foundation. I'm giving it another try. I've used it 3 days in a row, and it hasn't caused any problems, and it's in the stick. It reminds me of the pan stick, but it just goes on really nicely. And then I used everything in here. Everything. I used every color. I used the blush. I used the highlighter. I used the bronzer. And I used every color that on my eyes. It's much more dramatic than I usually do. In many videos in the past, you hear me speak of my grandmother. Well, I had two wonderful grandmothers. One of them lived in Pennsylvania, and one of them lived in the same town that I do. And this is my paternal grandmother's pearls. So I love to wear them. She was born in 1885, so she was older than I am right now when I was born. But anyway, it is all good. You guys have a great day. Appreciate everything that you can, and I will see you in my next video, and take care. I will try to give you a close-up of my eyes, but I'm not very good at that. Now they do have really good retinol